You are watching Park TV.
Welcome to Monadnock Tonight with your host, Steve Jackson, coming to you live from the amazing Park Theater in downtown Jaffrey, New Hampshire. Join Steve as he presents an encore presentation of a very special Route 124 episode featuring Von NEBO. Now sit back, relax, and here's Steve.
Well, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Welcome, friends, to this week's edition of Monadnock Tonight here at the Park Theater. It is Thursday, June 24th, 2021. It's 5 p.m. here on the East Coast, and you are watching live show number 81. It's very nice, 76 degrees outside and clear here in Jaffrey in southern New Hampshire. And yes, I am Steve Jackson, the CEO of the Park Theater and your host. And we are, as always, very glad that you could join us. As we have been, we are broadcasting from the box office in the new Park Theater Performing Arts Center. We probably, in the next few weeks, we're going to be switching around where we're going to be broadcasting from because we are going to be bringing live performances on the Monadnock Tonight show that are not kind of zoomed in. They're going to be right here at the theater. So I think you're going to enjoy that. We're just finishing up some bookings. And we will let you know as soon as we've got some of our performers set. And that's going to be fun because, things are getting better and we can do such things and we shall. So today we have an encore presentation within the show today of a very, speaking of musical performances, a very special performance last fall. But first, as always, some park news. And the first thing, I just wanted to show you a kind of fun, historic curiosity that was found by Lynn Lambert, who is the granddaughter of Romolo Vanni, the founder of the Park Theater. And I'd been talking as we're getting prepared to open and as we're getting prepared for the 100th anniversary of the founding of the theater. I had been asking Lynn. She's graciously given us a lot of archives from her family of photographs of her father, family, the theater, the old original theater itself, that certainly from the moment we open, and especially as we move towards our 100th anniversary of the founding of the theater by Romolo, that we want to be sharing a lot, and they have a lot to share. But we've been really focusing on 1922, the year that the theater opened, where Romolo had taken his house on this site that he lived at, his family. He had his business, his fruit vegetable business down the street, but he took his house and jacked it up and created a space for his store and a space for a box office, and then to get through into a little small lobby and then back into a barn-like theater. And that's what he opened with in 1922, showing silent films and occasionally vaudeville that was passing through. And of course, with the mills here and industrial stuff in this part of town along the river, there was a lot of folks around, and folks wanted to be entertained. And the silent moving pictures really came to mill towns. The theaters opened in mill towns outside of, obviously, they opened in Boston, Hartford, but in terms of small towns, they started where there were mills and factories along the rivers. Not only, it was certainly in New England, but around the country. So she was redoing some research at the Jaffrey Historical Society, because we're trying to find out the exact date in 1922 that the theater had its grand opening, and we don't have that exact date yet. But I'll be asking you about that in a moment. But first, let's look at an ad that she found. The newspaper at the time was the Monadnock Breeze. And here is the ad from the June 16th, 1922 issue. As you see there, it's referred to as just the park. And I occasionally refer to our theater as just the park. It's kind of a nice moniker for it. Also known as the place where you can keep cool. And that was one of its, when there were hot days, they had enough ventilation and eventually air conditioning that it was a place to go when we did have, as we've had this year so far, every once in a while, a warm day. But the interesting thing about the ad, obviously, they were open Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and Saturdays, 2 shows, 2:30 and 8 p.m. But they also showed fights, filmed fights. And they showed on June 19th, 1922, the actual day they showed this, a very famous fight with Jack Dempsey and a French fighter, Carpentier. That was actually a fight was happened in July of 1921, so almost a year later. But of course, before television and certainly before anything like what we have now, that a year later, it was still brand new and fresh to everyone up here to be able to see that fight, albeit silent, but to see that fight. And as Romulo said, don't miss it. And in fact, I'm able to find that on YouTube. And when we do open, I think we're going to replay the Dempsey Carpentier championship fight. It was they built a stadium for this fight. It was a huge, huge deal. A massive stadium in northern New Jersey that I believe it was 80,000 people. Was built specifically for this and then used for other fights and other events. But yeah, so we had fight films at the Park Theater way back and when. But this showing you some historical stuff. What it does bring up the subject. Do you have any Park Theater memorabilia? And I got to believe, with all the families that have lived here over the decades, over the past 100 years, that I am guessing that there's some memorabilia out in the not only Jaffrey, but the surrounding communities. It might be ticket stubs. It might be an old carton that was filled with popcorn. It could be an ad. It could be photographs of when you came and saw, Dr. Zhivago when it played here in the mid 1960s, and you're waiting in line outside and somebody snapped a photo with their Polaroid swinger or something like that. And it was outside the theater. So if you have anything that was in it, beginning, I guess the easiest thing are photographs, excuse me, of your family, your friends, your buddies, girlfriends, inside or outside the Park Theater when you were growing up, please give us a call here at the theater, and you can, and we'll make a high-res scan of it. We'll let everybody know where it came from. And, that's the number to call here, 532-9300, 532-9300. And if we're not here, you leave a message. But anything to do with the Park Theater, and obviously 1922 when it opened. Last movie was 1976. Certainly people have memories, but I'm looking for memorabilia, and hopefully we'll find some out there. Virtual offerings. Thanks to everyone who, we had a lot of people that virtually attended the Telluride Bluegrass Festival last week. Thank you, everyone. That was very nice of you. Part of that ticket price came to the Park Theater. We've got a few more coming up, but of course we're going to be switching a little bit more to getting prepared for live. But we do we'll have a few more, but we do have one that I talked about before, which is a tribute to Amy Winehouse. Anyone who was a fan of hers sadly passed away 10 years ago. And that's part of why this is in honor of her. They are starting to announce all the folks that are they're pulling together. It's going to be a who's who of music between the UK and the United States and the world that will be involved with this tribute to Amy Winehouse. And starts 8:30 p.m. Our time and Eastern time. So visit virtualparktheater.com. You click on Amy and you'll get a lot of more information about the event, and I'll leave it at that. But in terms of other things happening, very soon we're going to start making some announcements, because I have been booking some incredible live performances for the fall. Things we haven't booked anything live sooner than October, but we have got some incredible performances coming to our brand new stage here for the holidays, for the month of December, November, and October. And I think you're going to, there are things from our performing partners regionally, but there's something coming from Las Vegas, which I think everyone will get a huge kick out of. A fun show. Involves impersonators, but I won't say anything more than that right now. So what else going on? You'll hear more about that as the next couple of weeks come on. But Park Pixflix free movie. It's already up there. You can take a look at it if you've never seen this film. It's a tour de force film noir, written, directed, and starring Orson Welles, with Rita Hayworth and Welles' frequent actor that was in many of his films, including Citizen Kane, Everett Sloane. And 1948 film, The Lady from Shanghai. And here is the trailer.
Your husband can take care of himself.
Nice night for it, ain't it, Mr. O'Hara? You didn't answer me, Mr. O'Hara. You ought to speak when you're spoken to. I'd hate to have to report you to the lady's husband. I said it's a nice night for it.
Hey, Mike, if you'll pardon me this intrusion, there's a couple of police officers out here.
Cops.
I don't speak their language, see? And they wants me to identify this guy. What's the Spanish for drunken bum?
Mrs. Bannister, can you think of any reason why your husband would want to hire a divorce detective other than to watch you?
I object!
As a matter of fact, you and Michael O'Hara have kissed each other, haven't you? To name one occasion, you were seen in the aquarium of this city kissing each other. Do you deny that?
No. No further questions.
Okay. So just go to the Park Theater website, parktheater.org, and in the upper right, click on Park Pixflix, and it's right there with all the other Park Pixflix that we've presented to you over the months. And you can watch any of those, but this is our newest one that started today, and we hope you enjoy it. And I can tell you the quality is better than that trailer. So I think you'll like the quality is actually quite good on the version that we have curated for you. just quick mention, we've our registry. I think thank you again to those who've already purchased items from the registry for our theater. You know, I've explained the whole show last week is about the registry, but in terms of the items, we've had a lot of folks have already the popcorn butter. We needed one of those. That's been picked up. Microphone stands and one of those on the top there. The swiper for your credit card. We need a bunch of those. But go to park2021.com. And basically, you're making a donation in the form of a gift. It's a cash donation. That is the price that we need to purchase and in some cases install any of the items you see there, plus dozens more, and there are more being added all the time. It's a lovely way. If you care to, the gift will be attributed to you or to your business or in the honor of someone. But we have lots of the items still left on the one you see there, and as I say, we're going to be adding more items as we remember some things that we need to make this office right here, our box office work, as well as all other parts of the theater. And it's a very specific way. We love and we cherish people who give us a cash donation and an amount for us to use to operate and to purchase things that we need to continue. But this is a very specific thing. And the pricing, the mic stands that we need for our stages start at $26.95, and they go up to several $1,000s for the grand gold medal popcorn machine that we need for our main concession stand down in the lobby. So go to Park 2021. Okay, and now what we're doing today, last fall we produced this show called Route 124, and the idea was to give young, for the most part, younger musicians and songwriters and bands a place to a little bit of a spotlight on them. And we shot it out at the Gazebo right across the street from the theater here in right on Main Street in downtown Jaffrey. Really lots of magical performances, and our host and producer for the series was Andrea Cornelius, and she really made this a very memorable show for the Park Theater Archives. And so this is a particular guest, Von NEBO, and I always enjoyed their performance, and I think you will too. So this is from, I think it was the first week in October we presented this for the first time on Route 124, but here it is again for you to see, and I think you're going to enjoy it. Ladies and gentlemen, Route 124, Andrea Cornelius, and our performers, Von NEBO. I have to tell you, I picked up the wrong video, and that shows you what's going on these days. Well, this is an amazing group as well. My apologies to Von NEBO. I'm going to get them back on as well, but let us watch. You're going to love Green Heron as well. We did a handful of these shows, but what we're going to have on is Green Heron. That's what this show was. It was mislabeled, but ladies and gentlemen, Green Herring.
Welcome back to Route 124 Bandstand, the show produced by the Park Theater, where we feature young up-and-coming musical artists from the New Hampshire region. The show is filmed totally outside on the bandstand in Jaffrey Common, so we are sure to get the feeling of Jaffrey and of our Park Theater in every show. Today we have an incredibly fun and upbeat group for you. Their name is Green Heron, and their music is folksy and fun, and I think you're really going to enjoy them. So let's get to their first song.
This is a song called What's the Time? Written by, I wrote it. The curtains softly blowing, let the sunlight in, and chattering in the yard sounds like a hymn. It's Jeannie's friend, the Carolina Wren, and she turns her head to sleep again. Would you tell me what's the time? I don't have a notion of right. Could you turn me on a dime back to my life? Out on the porch you hear the mockingbird song, the one man who did her wrong. Jeannie sings along when he gets to the line about the top that sits so sweet there under the vine. Would you tell me what's the time? I don't have a notion of right. Will you turn me on a dime back to my life? Well, Jeannie finally opens up the window, shade as faded as leaves as she cries. Come afternoon, she puts the clothes outside, and a long such inside brings into her eyes. Will you tell me what's the time? I don't have no notion of right. Will you turn me on a dime back to my life? Don't forget, she says to herself, you're always kept on the shelf. Jimmy always smiles like he keeps in the fall, and Jeannie knows it won't be long. Will you tell me what's the time? I don't have no notion of right. Will you turn me on a dime back to my life?
This one's called Feet on the Floorboards.
Well, I have Betsy and Scott here from Green Heron. Welcome. Thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
So for those who don't know your group, what is the origin of your group name?
Well, actually, it's fairly simple. Green was my maiden name, and Heron is our married name. It's also a bird, and we love birds.
Yeah, birds are cool. So when and how did you guys meet and decide to start making music together?
We met, I was playing in a different band. She has a band called the Green Sisters, and we were playing the same gig, and that's where we met. We kind of just started playing together, and she joined my band, and we eventually just did our own duo thing, and that's where we came from, pretty much.
How long have you been making music?
Well, together, probably 5 years. We kind of both have been doing it for most of our lives, I would say.
So how did each of you individually get into music originally?
Well, my parents had a country band growing up, so and I have 3 sisters, we kind of all, were recommended to join in. So we've been doing it since we were born, basically, but...
Well, my mother always played piano, and so eventually my brother and I decided to start a rock band. So he got a drum set, I got a guitar, and we just kind of started playing from there. That's it.
So you said you were in kind of a country family band. What drew you guys to folk music in general?
I don't know. I've just loved bluegrass in particular since I first heard it when I was a kid. It's like the harmonies and the subject matter is just very relatable, I think.
Yeah, I've always loved classic rock, and so classic rock is kind of rooted in folk music and blues, and so I just kind of kept listening until I got to old folk music and bluegrass music and all that that fiddle and banjo sound.
Nice. Well, your music it's so upbeat and it's really fun to listen to. What kind of places do you draw inspiration for your music?
That's a good question.
That's a great question. Well, we listen to a lot of music.
I mean, we do. I in particular do reference a lot of nature in my music, like rivers and trees and birds and stuff.
Oh yeah, just the whole kind of like back porch vibe. Just with nice weather, we just kind of, that's kind of where our thing is. Just sitting on the back porch playing a banjo under a blue sky. I think that's where my inspiration comes from.
So do you think, being in New Hampshire, it's so heavily influenced by nature, has impacted your music?
Definitely. And actually, we both grew up in Massachusetts. Like, I grew up in rural Massachusetts. He grew up outside of Boston. And we both moved to New Hampshire separately before we met each other. So, it's great. I mean, I love hiking, and I love living in New Hampshire. It definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I grew up where we didn't have much woods. And so when I moved I've always hiked New Hampshire. So when I moved here, I'm like, I could do this every day. I can go to the coast in the morning. I can go up to the mountains in the afternoon. It's beautiful.
So is there a place where our audience can find more of your music?
Well, you can check out our website, greenheronmusic.com, and our Facebook page, which has a bunch of videos and stuff on it, and also where we're going to be playing. I mean, we're not playing that much right now, obviously, but yeah.
Awesome. Now, has there been a performance that has been especially memorable for you guys?
Last year, we played Prescott Park in Portsmouth, and we opened for a band called the Del McCurry Band, and that was kind of a highlight.
Yeah, it was a big deal for us. He's like a big guy in the bluegrass world, so that we're very honored to play that show.
Yeah, so that was definitely a highlight. A nice crowd and just a beautiful setting. So that was probably the best gig we've played so far.
Do you have maybe a local venue that you would love to play in the near future, maybe?
There's Harlow's Pub right down the road in
Oh, yeah.
Peterborough. That's a great spot, and we played there with another band, but we'd love to play there again with Green Heron.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully when we can open our theater, we'll have you inside.
That would be great.
Now, I like to do just a quick lightning round of questions that are simple questions, and I'd like you to answer them as quickly as you can, if possible. And so I'll let both of you answer after I ask each question. Are you ready? Okay. So, current favorite song?
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh no.
I'll say Shenandoah, Trampled by Turtles.
Oh, that's a good one. Anything by the Dubliners.
Quickly.
I don't have a single one.
That's okay.
Yes.
Okay, how about the first favorite song you remember having?
Probably anything by Alison Krauss when I was a kid. Not a particular song.
I would say, well, the biggest one is The Weight by the band. That's a great song.
All right. So the next one, the first instrument you learned to play.
The violin, fiddle, violin.
Guitar.
How about an instrument you wish you could play?
The uilleann pipes or the bagpipes?
Fiddle.
Okay. How about favorite place to write music?
In my house, probably.
Yeah, my living room.
What about your favorite place to play music?
I like playing at the Stone Church in Newmarket. It's kind of our home base.
Stone Church. It's a great place.
How about your favorite key to write in?
Ooh, I do a lot of G.
G. It's the best key.
You guys are very, very coherent. Okay. And last question: playlist in order or on shuffle?
It depends. I like to listen to like an album in order, but if it's a mix of stuff, I like to shuffle it up, I guess.
I do the shuffle, but album in order.
Very good. All right, so that's all of our questions. You guys did a good job. And how about, would you guys like to end for our audience on maybe like your favorite bad joke?
You do. The forefathers.
Oh, the forefathers. Well, I would just say that sometimes people ask us where we learned all our traditional songs, and they say like, "Oh, you must have learned those songs from your forefathers." And I say, "Forefathers?" And I don't have forefathers. And they say, "Well, everyone's got forefathers." And I say, "Well, if I have forefathers, only one of them ever came home."
That's very good. That's a good one. All right, well, thank you so much for being here. It's been so much fun talking to you and listening to your music.
Thank you for having
so
us.
much. This is our song, our duet about love and heartbreak. This one's called Sad 'Cause I'm Blue.
1, 2, 3.
I was thinking of the day we met. We ate a picnic on the hill.
Well, excuse me, seem to forget that you left me with the bell.
I'm sad, 'cause I'm blue, I'm blue, I'm blue, I'm blue, 'cause I'm lonesome too. I'm lonesome 'cause I'm alone, I'm alone without you. Each day when we woke there was a song deep in my heart, so dear to me.
Well, tell me, did I remember it wrong? Because that song was always out of key.
I'm sad, 'cause I'm blue, I'm blue, I'm blue, so blue, 'cause I'm lonesome too. I'm lonesome 'cause I'm alone, I'm alone without you.
as we stroll on down the lane. Well, that piece of junk ain't worth a thing, 'cause you can see me Sue Sally all the same. I'm sad, 'cause I'm blue, I'm blue, sky blue, 'cause I'm lonesome too. I'm lonesome 'cause I'm alone, so I'm alone without you. I'm sad 'cause I'm blue, I'm blue, so 'cause I'm lonesome too. I'm lonesome 'cause I'm alone, so I'm alone without you. Thank you.
Don't go anywhere, there's more Route 124 coming up. Are you a musician or a musical artist who would like some more exposure? If you are, please contact us and send us a short audition clip if you would like to be on the show. You can email us at parktv@theparktheater.org. We would really love to hear from you and have you on the show. And that's it for this Route 124 Bandstand. Thank you for watching. I'm Andrea Cornelius. We'll see you next time.
I missed my production talent today is less than stellar. I'm just saying I really love those shows, and we had some great talent on them. Green Heron was certainly one of them. Von NEBO too, which I will get back on and refeature them as well. And I really enjoyed Andrea Cornelius, who volunteered to produce these shows, did just a sensational job and had fun with all of our performers and guests, and with her questions. She's a musician herself, so she talks the language of musicians. And I thank Andrea so much for giving all of her talent that she did to help produce them and make them as good as they were and as good as they are. Now, one thing I should say in the middle of that, we had a little promo for naming a seat. Do not use Park 2020. We still have seats, not a lot, but we still have seats left. And if you are interested in sponsoring a seat and making a gift and having it named in the honor of someone you love or a business you own, just call us again at the phone number 532-9300, and we can take care of that. And we'd love to have you on one of the seats in the Epps Auditorium. We've already started to put the plaques on the seats, and they're looking wonderful. And again, we thank these over 200 and some people that have sponsored the seats. They're $1,000 for a sponsorship of a seat, $1,000 tax deductible gift. But they're going to be there a long time. So, and it's a little, you can say, that's my seat, and kind of fun. So, Again, thanks to everyone. So sorry. I apologize to Von NEBO. I will make it up to you guys. And maybe I will try to get Von NEBO as well as Green Heron to come back again and do live, but this time in the theater. Though it looks so great on the on the gazebo facing the theater is a great place to produce music. So really, it's a great look. The sound sometimes with the traffic going by is not great, but generally it's they all turned out very well, even with all that noise, and because the performances are so good and the people are so nice, and Andrea hosting the show so well. So that's Route 124. But we will return with that, but it will be in the theater when we start producing those again. That's the end of our show for this week. Next week, we will be on hiatus, but we will return on Thursday, July 8th, I hope with a live in-person performance. But we'll let you know about that as soon as possible. Other than that, I am going to say, as we always do at the end of the show, and as Andrea was saying as well, that if you have an idea for someone to perform on our show or yourselves, we'd love to chat with you about that. If you'd like to sponsor the show, we'd love to chat with you about that. Park TV at theparktheater.org. Just email us, or again, call us at the number I've been giving out relentlessly all evening, 532-9300, 532-9300. And as we end each show with the thoughts of still good thoughts, and you can never not say these things regardless of COVID, which we were reminding people to be safe, be healthy, be kind, and be hopeful. They're just wonderful things to think about all the time, regardless of a pandemic. So again, this is Steve Jackson, and I am so glad you're with us for this today. And we look forward to see you on July 8th. And have a great weekend, everybody. And bye-bye.